everything will change. Everything has changed.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. Senior developer, co-founder of VHG Mike held his normal Friday Q&A live stream on Twitch, which means I get to bring you Dev Chat 185. As always, Mike answered lots of great questions from the community, and today he brought a friend. He's got Kyle with him, the lore master of EHG. He is the one that wrote all 12 chapters, and I know there's some people out there that's like, I could care less about the lore. Talk to me about endgame. Don't worry, we've got game questions and lore questions, and we're going to jump into it right now around the Immortal Emperor.
From Eagles Forever, can you finally tell us who the Immortal Emperor is? No, still no. But I will say that with Chapter 10 being out, we are getting closer and closer to when that reveal will happen. The campaign is planned to have a Chapter 11 and a Chapter 12, and I can say confidently that the reveal of who the Emperor is will happen in 11 or 12. So
I thought you were going to say which chapter. I was so excited for a second there.
I mean, I'm trying to think how much of a... By the time you are in Chapter 12, by the time you're in Chapter 12, you should know who the Immortal Emperor is. I will say that.
All right.
There you go. Now, you guys are probably saying, what's up with the audio? Just know Kyle's got a little bit of an echo on him and their audio levels are a little off. So I'll work on that in editing, but there's nothing I can really do. Monolith update.
We have from Native Zero, mono update / rework when? Next patch, pretty please. Mike, I'll let you feel that. I can chime in on any kind of supplementary info on that.
Yeah, we had a restructuring of this section of the monolith that was very close to happening for this patch, and it just wasn't quite solid enough. So we pushed that back, and should be coming next season.
Yeah, ideally that little rework, and then just to temper expectations, the rework that Mike's referring to wasn't a major overhaul to what you're doing in the monolith. Is more so just a restructuring of some of the kind of order of operations there.
Yeah, that's why I specifically bring it up this screen here, because it's specifically things that affect this screen, specifically this screen. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I don't want to. Yeah, we don't want to get into details of what that plan is, but yeah, we were real close to getting it in for 1.3. In fact, I think in a stream chat or interview or something, Judd talked it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That was right before we found okay, this isn't tight enough to go forward with the time we had left. So we should be coming in with 1.4 because it was working. It just had a couple of kind of edge cases and kind of loose kind of parts to it that okay, this we don't want to push this forward if we're not 100% sure on this
it just needed some more polish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
visual rework to the monolith coming season 4. Good and evil.
And that is, hi Mike, Orbis and Atera, who is evil and who is good? Oh man, that's the kind of question that it's funny to get to after the let's be less verbose on these. So that is a complicated question. I will say, in the most kind of basic sense, Atera is good and Orbis is evil, but they come to those from very kind of human angles. Atera is good but flawed. She was a bit too controlling in regards to how she wanted to treat the observer, a bit too ambitious, controlling, not she's trying her best and didn't quite get there. And the observer, before he fell into becoming Orbis, he was lonely, he was resentful, he there's a lot of human emotions going there, but how he let those fester within him turned him into what would definitely be called evil. So Atera good, Orbis evil, but the things that kind of get them there and the things that kind of add texture to those makes that more complicated than just pure good and pure evil, I would say.
In the comments section, you team Atera or team Orbis? What's in the box?
why are the mages exiled? What did they do? What's in the box? So the Exiled Mages are definitely one of those examples of a kind of a plot thread that is seeded by their initial introduction into the game that we want to explore in the future. We have no kind of like hard time on it. We want to do a sort of Rune Mages expansion, Exile Mages expansion, to kind of dive into that more, but that's something that I'm definitely interested in diving more into. The short version is that there is a group of Rune Master judges that have been researching this sort of magic for these kind of pocket spaces and other making other spaces within the world, and part of their main kind of application of that you can see is them putting their enemies into these boxes and shunting them out into random spots, in time and space, to where they won't be, a problem for them anymore. And part of that process does have a tendency to drive the mages inside of there a bit nutty and a bit hostile to, everything around them. So some of them are deserving of their fate due to, magical crimes they've done. Some of them were just got on the wrong side of the wrong Rune Master judge, and that's something that I do want us to explore in the future in one of our later content updates, is kind of digging into that more, maybe seeing some of the Rune Master judges and kind of getting more into the nature of these Rune Master prisons.
Sweet.
Okay, next.
Which is why they attack everything and not just the player.
Exactly. The process of being stuffed in that magic box for so long definitely messes with their minds a bit. It makes them a bit hostile to everything around them once they're finally free.
Future update, Rune Master judges. This is a fantastic idea.
Next, from Ice Hockey Player.
Yeah.
Would it be possible to get the glyph of envy to not require an Epoch shard, as I feel this should be used when my item affixes are completed and I want to base.
The problem is that it needs to wait, no, it doesn't need that anymore, because it just switches the base. Yeah, that could be switched to a rune, right?
I don't see why not, but I'm not as deep in the kind of item team. I
don't see why that couldn't be changed. Glyphs have to have something to go with it. Glyphs are an augment item, so they can never be just done on their own, so we'd have to switch it to a rune. It may have been not done because there are so few glyphs available. Yeah, that's the name on this is so on the nose.
I 100% agree. Envy should be a rune. That happens all the time. It's like, oh man, I forgot to flip the base when I was upgrading the affix tiers. I still have forging potential. I would much rather want a different base. Nothing you could do. Moving on to skill sigils.
Ben Diesel, can you give us any more info on what we can expect from skill sigils? Will it give us additional skill nodes? Will it give us an additional mini skill tree? Mike, what do you have to say about that?
Skill sigils are a thing that we have told you the name of, and there is an image that was put out on a deprecated roadmap. That is the sum total of what I can say about it. I'm sorry.
And that is the image that is on the thumbnail for this video. Now, when you hear Mike say that, in your brain, you might think, oh crap, they're not doing skill sigils anymore. What happened to skill sigils? I thought skill sigils is season 4. And then Mike goes on and says this.
Complete absence of an answer, and I apologize. But yeah, right now it is lips are sealed. Can't say anything about it. It's gonna be sweet though, which I know is the worst thing to say when I've given no information about it.
Kyle says, I'm excited about it, and Mike says it's gonna be sweet. Now, what do you take from that? I take from that it's active in development and likely coming soon, right? So far, that deprecated roadmap, season 1, season 2, and season 3 have been spot on. They just flipped. Season 3 was season 2, and season 2 was season 3. So I doubt, yes, I'm sure we need a new roadmap, of course, but skill sigils are coming. Building up the arena.
Mr. Ben Diesel, when can we expect something like building more into the arena or another game mechanic we can play?
The arena is a weird kettle of fish. I don't know if we're going to be directly expanding it much, but I think like they'll. We're going to try and get as much. This is a tricky one because I don't want to promise anything too soon or too big, but we're definitely hearing the feedback that that there's a significant desire for mechanically distinct activities to do at endgame. And so we're working on the best way to add that.
Good answer.
I don't think it'll be focused around the arena.
Yeah.
My guess is that internal data says not many people play the arena. So I think that's right. It's going to be probably still monolith systems. Maybe we see something like Delve or I don't know, but I don't know how many people play the arena. Achievement system?
I have not heard anything specific about it. It's something that we get a lot of requests for, and I think it's a lot of internal requests too for it. So I wouldn't necessarily like hold your breath on it, but I sure hope so soon. I'm pushing for it with you.
Yeah, there's interest within and without the company that we're all very well aware of.
Yeah.
Normally when Mike answers a question like that, especially on a system like achievements, if he's saying, hey, don't hold your breath, we definitely want to do it, that normally means they haven't really started it. A good old adventure mode question.
Sorry if it's been previously discussed or asked, is there any plan to incorporate a different leveling path outside of replaying through the campaign each character? Mike, I'll let you fill that one if you want.
No, but I think we are looking at. We've long held that we wanted to improve and expand the dungeon system such that you could use that for the vast majority of a leveling playthrough if you wanted to. Yeah, we're not planning like adventure mode to use examples from other games, sort of thing.
It is something that we are aware of and want to find a good solution to, though.
Yeah.
I love the way Mike answers this question.
Is repeats. TA Primordial items haven't found their way into many builds versus a Primordial Unique plus Exalted Slam. What can be done to make Exalted items competitive and in-game builds if T8s haven't moved the needle much?
Yeah, I don't think that, like, I think the assumption that was the point of adding Exalted or Primordial Exalteds was to, how to say this? I don't think we ever said that the point of adding Primordial Exalteds was to make Exalteds more prominent. It's the Primordial Exalteds were definitely a fallback for in case your build doesn't have a good Primordial Unique that goes with it, because most of the Primordial Uniques are very niche and specific, and like if you like the build you're going for just like doesn't have one that fits, you want something to take that like power slot.
Exactly. That's something we like identified real early on when we were talking about primordials. Is like, you know, when we introduce those, people are going to assume the new kind of baseline is you have your one primordial and then everything else going on. And if none of the primordial uniques are something you want, then you're kind of left kind of like, oh, do I have to reconfigure my build to, you know, work with one of these primordial uniques I don't really care about? And they're kind of like attempt a solution to that, like, okay, we're gonna have the T8s as kind of your generic primordial that you can find one of those to fit whatever build you're trying to do if the primordial uniques aren't what you want to work with.
And I feel like it opens up a lot of creativity. We've been playing Righteous Witchfire Warlock, and that's a lot of our damage comes from a T8 affix on our weapon. So I do get it. People are like, oh yeah, the like stupid, who cares? Just go get a T-Rex skull or a frog helmet. But I do like that the system is there just because it opens up so many options. All right, everybody, unfortunately, we've come to the final question for Dev Chat 185. Me and my community, we are relentless in pushing. We want a Barbarian inside of Last Epoch. We bring it up every Friday. We are always pushing it, and It always makes Mike laugh. So we're going to go into the Barbarian question for the last one. Mike, as always, thank you for your Friday live streams. The community truly appreciates it. Kyle, thank you for joining Mike and giving us so much lore knowledge. As always, please like, share, and subscribe if you think I have earned it. And if I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. Check out my new website, actionrpg.com. We are updating all the builds for Season 3. We got an event calendar, news, team page, live. I mean, we've got, the website is really coming along. So you haven't checked it in a while, go take a look. And don't forget to join the Discord, over 5,700 action RPG enthusiasts. We do game nights, we do movie nights, we do merch giveaways, game giveaways. It's an awesome place to hang out. I'm done. Mike and Kyle, take it away.
Mike pretty much 100% confirmed the Barbarian Mastery. What would the name of the Mastery be called based on lore, or is Barbarian fine for LE lore? There's a confirmation. What's this I'm hearing?
No. You've been trying to track me for months in this. No, don't you put no. I think Barbarian works fine for a name if we were gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like gauche to bring up, like, you know, other games of the genre so like overlay, but I'd rather us not name it Barbarian, just because, you know, Diablo as a franchise uses Barbarian a bunch, but so does Dungeons and Dragons. It's not like no one owns the term Barbarian. There's a horror movie called Barbarian, but I mean, I personally think we could like find some other kind of like angle to play with, maybe something a little more specific than that. But again, it doesn't exist, so whatever I'm talking about.
Hit me some other names. What do we got? Like
I think like Raider would be good.
Raider's nice. Yeah.
Ravager. Reaver. Yes, that was circling around. Reaver would be a lot of fun. What was? Oh, did you ever play Warhammer: Age of Reckoning? That MMO from like a long time ago.
No.
Oh yeah, like over on the like evil faction side, one of the chaos classes was the Marauder. Ooh. And his whole deal was being like a. Honestly, that is one of the kind of little inspirations for the Chaos Cultist dudes, because the Marauder was a kind of Viking barbarian dude with a mutated arm that would change into different mutations for different parts of your rotation. The Marauder was so cool.
If we're not going to do Barbarian because of Diablo 2, I don't think we can do Marauder because of Path of Exile.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that guy. I always play them when I play the Exile anyways. What am I talking about?
Yeah.